The only things I remember from my first home is watching Shrek in the living room, my obsession with dinosaurs, and the unexpected floods caused by the poor drain system. Then, I moved for the first time. My second home saw me grow, and it grew with me too. Up in the second floor, at the end of the hallway, was my room. Tall ceilings, wooden floor, afternoon sun rays, and the garden view, which I would see every day for the next 18 years. There was also a lot of change, of course. 2 beds, 1 bed, the first desk, clutter, order, 1 dog, 2 more, artwork, colors. My room became a reflection of myself. But when I turned 21 and after 2 years of gap year, I became too comfortable. It was time for change. Naively, the first place I looked into moving out to was Tokyo. I soon realized that would be impossible, so I looked closer. Mexico City. Cultural, historic, and basically endless. That was the place. I instantly began looking at apartment listings online with little to no luck, until... My mom found a pretty interesting 3-bedroom apartment in the heart of the city on Facebook Marketplace. Due to work, I couldn't go see it in person. My mom did, and I trusted her taste. Before even realizing how big of a change this would be, I packed my life in a truck, signed the lease, and moved to the big city on my own. The new place was great. 4 rooms, old building, and stylish. Now I needed to make it mine, and somehow rebuild the essence of the old studio. It was time to learn a whole new art form. The art of interior design.
Ok, entonces voy a necesitar un cúter. Ajá, pintura. A ver, no, esta está muy cara. Un triangulito de estos para medir.
¿Se cobra con tarjeta o efectivo?
Con tarjeta está bien, gracias.
Now, I don't think it's possible to properly design a space without visualizing it first. So I built a scale model of my whole apartment. 2 of the 6 rooms were designated long before I got here. The rest were up to me. Next to the kitchen and right in front of the entrance would be the dining space. This area would be shared with the living room. Somehow, both spaces would clearly need to be divided. But no need to worry about that right now. To avoid midnight falls, the bedroom would be placed right next to the bathroom. The 5th room would be the studio. Planning, editing, filming, everything would be done here. The final room was a bit of a problem. At first, I thought of it as a guest room, but selfishness took over. It would be the lab, a room for experimentation. The layout was clear, the design language wasn't. Filling this empty space felt like an enormous task, but the next step was pretty small. I had to figure out what even is good design. I went down a rabbit hole. For a while, apartment tours would fill my YouTube history. Interior design books would fill my shelves. I would get saturated by hundreds of reference images. I would learn about design movements and practices. But that didn't help much. I soon realized I was searching in the wrong place. My house wouldn't only be a house. It would be a studio, a set, and a source of inspiration. So I changed plans. Instead of copying family homes, I would copy artist studios. Instead of following rules, I would create my own. Rule 104. Ceiling lights are strictly banned. Use lamps instead. 2. The place shall be easy to clean. We have limited cleaning personnel. 3. The place shall be inspiring and allow for ease of creation. And most importantly, 4. The place shall be designed with intention. From the couch to the artwork, from the wristwatch to the razor. Every element in the space shall be carefully curated and shall serve a purpose. Wait, you kinda need to use that, don't you? What do you mean? The razor. Look at you. This is the Heyson Shaving AL13, a top-of-the-line aluminum safety razor that, on top of being a beautifully made object, doesn't irritate my skin. And that's a big deal. Ever since I started growing facial hair, I've tried all types of razors, but they would always irritate, hurt, and damage my skin, not to mention the amount of waste they generate. Then, I got this one. A carefully researched, designed, and manufactured razor created in the Heyson Aerospace Machine Shop in Canada. And it shows. Ever since I started using it, shaving has become less of a routine and more of a ritual. Less of an obligation and more of an experiment. Less of a pain and more of a process full of intention. I like to surround myself with beautiful functional tools and create rituals out of them. And this razor is one of those tools. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description to get your Heyson razor and a free pack of 100 blades.
Thank you, Heyson, for sponsoring this video. Much better.
I, of course, started off with a few pieces I brought from my old studio. The bed, the work desk, the turntable setup, the big plant, and a couple of lamps. A premature trip to IKEA.
¿En qué estación bajamos? A ver, estamos... Sí, tráete. ¿Unas albóndigas o qué nos vamos a llevar esto?
Would set the stage for the rest of the apartment. A chair, a coffee table, and a rug. That's all I got. And it was enough to define the accent color of the rest of the space. But my whole apartment couldn't be red, so I searched for furniture to balance things out, and I found it. Contrast would become religion. Different textures, shapes, and colors. That's what makes a space interesting. However, there still needs to be cohesion, to find the sweet spot between contrast and harmony. For a while, the IKEA trips would become routine. Unboxing, building, incorporating. It was almost an obsession. Fairly quickly, the space started taking shape. Then, it began designing itself. New areas would appear as I found new hobbies. New collections would start as I got new interests. New pieces would emerge as I made new memories. Interior design is no different to other art forms. It's all about self-expression, and I embrace that. I focused on filling my house with things that I love and inspire me, and somehow made them work all together. It was less of a logical and more of an intuitive process. Once again, my house became a reflection of myself. Just by looking at it, you can get a clear sense of who I am, of what my passions, ambitions, and aspirations are. And that's more than enough for me. Because if you could take a peek to the inside of my brain, this place is probably what it would look like.